Hey, hey, Rich.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, so typically when we do one of these, we do a cold open. I had a really good time with our past cold open
The
where
questions.
where we ask questions. We're going to do that again. So, this is random hold on. This is conversationstartersworld.com. They have a really nice website here that allows you to just click a button and get asked random questions. So I did like the question that did show up, but it's not fair for me to see this first. So I'm going to hit next, and we're just going to hope for the best. Now, do I have your permission if it's a complete BS question that we can just like veto it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, I gotta go with this one. Do animals have rights, and do those rights extend to all animals, or do the rights change based on the complexity of the animal? Also, this is date number 2 for us, right?
Date number 2. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have a lot of thoughts about this, actually.
Oh, okay, great.
Um, so that's a tricky question because you're defining rights, right? So, and you're saying do certain animals get rights, and certain animals don't. That's absolutely true in the normal sort of stereotypical, especially like American society,
Mm-hmm.
because um, you have characters like Mickey Mouse, Yogi the Bear. Everybody has a stuffed teddy bear. You have these animals that are like in cartoons and stuff like that, and they're like made to be these. They're kind of put on this pedestal, right? So like when somebody posts like an Instagram photo of them like killing a bear or like killing a deer, they're like, "Oh, you killed Bambi," or
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, you killed Yogi," or whatever. And it's actually really funny because most people only have a problem with what is classified as charismatic megafauna, which is that exact thing that I'm talking about. It's
Okay.
these charismatic animals that are sort of looked at upon because of their pop culture sort of,
Yeah.
and just
Like.
not pop culture, but culture sort of references. So, do animals have rights? I mean, yes, but like I've hunted animals, I eat animals.
Mm-hmm.
Are there certain animals that I would not eat? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Are there certain animals that I wouldn't kill? Yes, yes. But part that's it, hunting, fishing, those things are like all part of like our world, right?
Right.
It's part of like like take the American turkey for example. Okay, and there's 4 different breeds of turkeys. There's oh boy, Osceola, um, Easterns.
Of course
Can't
you would know
remember. I
this.
can't remember the other 2 off the top of my
Sure.
head. I should know that. But like in America, like we didn't have turkeys for a long time. Like after the British came over, the French came over, like they just wiped them out. Like there was like not any turkeys left. And through like hunting conservation and like the National Wild Turkey Foundation, like they brought turkeys back. Like we
So they
have
were
more.
on the endangered species for a while.
I mean, they were gone before that even existed. The endangered species list is a whole
Okay.
other sham that we could get into. We could do a whole podcast about
Okay.
because any endangered species never gets off the list, even when it's recovered.
Oh, I did not know
Which is
that.
what I'm. Some do get off the list, but like
Sure.
it's hard for them to get off the list. But where was I going with this? But yeah, like through conservation, through like these things, like turkeys came back. Like we have more deer now than we like ever have, right?
We actually have like here in our state, they want you to kill deer because they are
Yes,
so
yes,
overpopulated.
yes. So like the story I like to tell people that sort of goes along with this is in the Hamptons. So in sort of eastern New York, eastern Long Island, I think is where the Hampton is, right?
Sure.
They have this really big deer problem. because they don't hunt them, right? And their sort of local decision to solve this problem was, we're going to hire hunters to come in the middle of the night with essentially sniper rifles and kill these things in the middle of the night and take them away. They tried giving the deer contraceptives. They tried doing all these things to make the deer go away without killing them. And then they're like, you can come in and hunt them and kill them, but we just don't want to see it. We just don't want to be a part of it, which is absolutely asinine. Like, it's not happening because we don't see it, right?
Right.
But now that it's a problem, like, we want to deal with it. 20 minutes earlier, we were, on the don't kill Bambi thing, and now it's like, oh, well, Bambi's eating my hydrangeas. We got to get rid of Bambi now.
Out of sight, out of mind, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's a tricky question.
Do animals have rights? I mean,
so like animals are like, wild animals are the public's property. They don't belong to in weird ways, like property of the state they're in, because all states are manage wildlife differently. Mm-hmm. But like there's protected animals, like in Yellowstone. Like there's buffalo in Yellowstone that are protected. You can't hunt them when they're in Yellowstone, but they leave Yellowstone. They don't stay there forever. They're like, when they leave Yellowstone, they sort of change ownership when that happens.
Then they're free game.
Well, that's a tricky subject. But there's there's a lot of like wild horses. Wild horses are like a huge hot topic debate that, like, ranchers and farmers hate those things because they destroy property and destroy crops. And then you have people that, obviously, horses are charismatic megafauna. And there's just people that just love horses.
Like boars are a big problem here. Like out in
boars,
the sticks,
So the interesting thing about boars is they're non-native. There were no pigs here. All pigs come off the same Linnaean species. It's Sus squafa. Even the pig you eat from Walmart, the pork, is all part of the same exact Linnaean species as a wild boar is. And they're not native to the United States at all. They were brought here on boats and spread. So non-natives are considered invasive. So, we get rid of them. No different than like a non-native plant species or a non-native like fish. Like non-native like fish and like aquatic life can like destroy a whole ecosystem. Like those Asian carp. You know about those because that's a big thing in where we live.
Right.
Those things breed and spread and destroy
havoc.
Habitat. And it's like, you can kill as many of them things as you want.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing with boars, but like boars are non-natives, so you can get rid of, like in New Zealand, they introduced like Canadian geese, and they like overpopulated, so you can go to New Zealand and kill as many Canadian geese as you want. They don't care. Like they did all these weird programs to like bring in all these foreign animals and non-native animals, and it sort of destroyed a lot of their wildlife. Like Great Britain has a lot of problems with that, especially with like birds. Like they lost a lot of like ground nesting birds because of that kind of stuff.
Where are you learning all this at? What do you do at work?
I grew up in a very little town where I spent a lot of time outdoors.
Yeah, I did too. But
read a lot of. I hunted and fished a lot. And
yeah, I fished a lot.
We had a lot of like chickens, and I read a lot of books about animals. And I always find it like, whenever we would like kill a deer and like butcher it, or like if we butchered one of our chickens and like would take it to, like a family friend or something, they'd be like, ew, like that's gross. And it's like, if you only knew where the meat you're eating came from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And like, one of my wife's friends would always say, like, can you just wrap this in like the Walmart plastic thing and just bring it in here, just not tell me, and then it'd be fine. And it's like, oh, you just want to be completely ignorant of the whole thing, and then you're okay. Yeah.
Wow,
man, that's a good one.
So animals have rights. I mean, I agree. I already knew all that. Let's do one more.
Okay. Okay.
There's only 1,700. So, so it's still on the animals have rights one. So, here we go. Going to the next one. Oh, okay. Here's an easy one. Where's the most interesting place you've been?
Man, that's not very easy.
Trying to think of like some of the more like I've never been anywhere unique. Family vacation was always going to the beach. I've been to some pretty cool places for work trips. I've been to like
That's
Vegas. I've been to DC a handful of times for different work trips. When I worked at a law firm, one of their headquarters was in DC. So where I stayed at, you could see the White House. Like that was kind of cool. But unique or the most interesting, like honestly, it's gonna be that or Vegas or yeah, probably one of those two.
I would have to say mine's work related. So I work in the telecom industry, and every now and again, I get to go somewhere weird. I've got a couple, but I'm just going to give one. So in Terre Haute, Indiana, there is a federal prison and it's the only prison in the United States that executes like federal convicts. So McVeigh was executed there, Timothy McVeigh, the Oklahoma City bomber. It's where the guy from, what's the boat movie with Tom Hanks, where they hijack his boat? Captain Phillips.
Yes,
Captain Phillips.
right.
Some Somalian pirate that led that, and then gets arrested at the end of that. He's in Terre Haute.
Wow.
I got to go in that prison as a part of they had a fiber thing that I probably shouldn't talk about. But they did like background checks on me and like did all this stuff.
Wow.
I got to go in there, and that's a weird place to be. That and like big data centers. Like I've been in a lot of like really big data centers.
Yeah.
And, they're just walking around. And it's just like a 10,000 or like a 10,000 square foot like warehouse that's all got like the false floor, and it's all air conditioned, and
It's like
just
55
so
degrees
loud.
in there.
Oh yeah. And they're just like, oh, here's all the stuff that runs Netflix for like the Midwest, and like here's all this stuff, and it's just like, man, pretty wild.
Wow. Okay. Well, we'll put a wrap on that then. Good. I learned a lot today, Rich. Hold on
I know a lot of useless information.
Oh, geez. I got to send my wife something really quick. Sorry. Bear with me here. This is where the music would normally be playing anyway.
You just said bear. You did it.
Yeah. So what did I mean by that? Where did that come from? Bear with me. Where did I pick that up at?
That's what I'm saying, man. Don't ever eat black bear.
I wouldn't plan on it.
Don't do it.
Is it gross?
No, they all have worms.
Ew.
If you don't cook it all the way, they do. If you don't cook it all the way, you'll get trichinosis.
Did you learn that in your book?
I got it from that stuff. Podcasts, things like that. I do podcasts about everything, Michael.
What kind of... You're going to have to send me like your Overcast list. I want to see the stuff.
It'd be bad.
I want to see what you're listening to. All right.
I mean, I could talk about coyotes for the next 20 minutes if you want.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's get started. Hey, Rich.
Hey, Michael.
And welcome everybody to BitPunch Radio episode 027. Rich, how you been?
Oh, really busy. Really busy. The government keeps giving more money to broadband, which keeps me very busy.
Nice. Are you traveling at all?
No, it's mostly in the state. But there's just like more work than anybody could ever do. So it's great.
Mm-hmm. We got a little face tracking happening over here. So in case anybody sees a blue box.
Yeah, I moved my mouse too far. This is what happens.
Well, what have you been up to?
Oh man, I've been streaming. I had streamed a little bit of the Outer Worlds on my sort of fancy new computer. Man, that game runs a lot
Do you want
better.
to talk? Do you want to talk about that?
Oh, we haven't talked about that, have we?
No.
Oh,
You just
boy.
got that like last week.
So yeah, so I forgot to put that on the list. So yeah, I had been doing all of my PC stuff and streaming stuff, recording stuff, pretty much all of it on Shadow, the streaming service. Shadow.tech is the website. Basically, you get VPN'd into a Windows computer that I think was a 1080 or a 1060.
1080
or something like that. And it worked better than it had any right to. We played all of Resident Evil 7 on it. Played a bunch of other games on it. Like, it worked reasonably well. But the more stuff we tried to do with the cameras and the microphones, like having to forward all that, we were spending like 40 minutes trying to get ready to stream, and then by the, it was just not optimal really. And there was a lot, it limited us a lot because I had to like be running. It's like, okay, like every time we'd sit down and we go, okay, how did we do this last time? It's like, okay, I got to start my Shadow, I got to parsec my camera, and then I got to do this. It's like all duct tape. And
we always had a goal to like 8:45. Let's get online.
Yeah.
And then we'd look at our watch and it'd be like 9:10. It's like, all right, we're ready to go. Let's do this.
Yeah. So I had been thinking about building a PC. But kind of looking at like what a 3080 cost or a 3070, I don't need like a 3090 or anything crazy like that.
Sure.
But even like a 3070 or a 3080 build is, 2,500. You can get up to $3,000 depending on what hard drives you put in it, what CPU you get. And I had been kind of bracing myself to kind of spend that amount of money. Kind of knowing that's probably what I was going to do. And when I don't know, it was like a Thursday. I was home with my daughter. She was sick, and Wario64 posted a link to the Xbox Series X at Walmart. He's like, he posted like 2:00, and he's like, it's going live at 3. Like, here's the link, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buy one of these things because maybe that'll solve some of my problems. I can do some streaming from it.
Sure.
Whatever. And dude, I loaded that thing up, and within 7 seconds, all of them were gone. And I was like, this is so stupid. Like, I was just so mad. Like, I was like, this is just dumb. And then I realized I needed to go to Costco. And so I packed my daughter up, and we went into Costco, and I'm walking around, and I'm like, and you had mentioned something to me, I think, before I went. And you're like, dude, they've got a, like, pretty decent gaming PC there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not buying a fucking Costco gaming PC. You're nuts. And so I get in there and I'm looking around and I come across this thing and it's like, it's got a 3060 Ti, which is the better 3060.
It's an RTX card.
Yep, RTX card.
Which means it does ray tracing.
It does ray tracing. It's essentially just a little under a 3070 standard.
Yeah.
And about equal to a 2080 Super. Which is
nuts.
A hell of a card. And it is. And it's $300 cheaper than a 2080 Super. So, yeah. So this thing is like a pre-built, like Dell Alienware kind of computer.
Is it Alienware branded?
It's got some on there that I noticed because I think Dell owns Alienware now.
They do, yeah.
I think, I definitely saw the little alien head on there somewhere. But it's got a 3060 Ti. It has, I don't remember the CPU. It's got
32 gigs of RAM.
32 gigs of RAM. It's an i7 8-core CPU, which is a pretty decent CPU, I've been told. Yeah, 32 gigs of RAM. It's got a 500 gigabyte SSD and a 1 terabyte just platter hard drive. And then I plugged my external SSD into it, so I have a little bit of extra. So,
yeah, the card itself has 8 gigs of RAM on it, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those 3060s, they're selling for like $1,000 right now.
Yeah, that's insane. So yeah, I got out the door a little less than $1,500 for all that, which was, I think, a pretty good deal. I haven't popped it open and like dug into it and seen like, because I know they don't use like off the shelf parts. Like it's probably it's not like a normal looking 3060 Ti. It's probably like some Dell version of a 3060 Ti.
Hold on, Rich. I got to stop you right here, okay? Because this is significant. You've been a Mac user for, I don't know how long. You use Windows for work. I'm assuming, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you text me and you're just like, you send me a picture of the palette, right?
Yep.
And then I'm like, I start looking into it because I've seen a couple different videos of people like, yo, this is like a legit good computer. Like it's not going to blow the doors off anything, but it's legit good. You could do 4K, you could do 1440p, it's good. So you send me a a message or a picture of the palette, and then like 10 minutes go by, and I just get another message that just says, I'm just standing here staring at this. So I'm like, okay, I'm like, I hope you get this.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to, and then I was just like, I need to research this a little bit, because like if it's got shit parts in it, like maybe like don't. Yeah. And then you you send me a picture of your cart with it in it, and you go, do your research.
Yeah. I think the last time we had tried to stream, Shadow was messed up, and then not getting that Series X. Yeah. It was just like, it's time to kind of do it. It's made things a lot easier. That's on my end, that's for sure. And man, like loading up the Outer Worlds for the first time, that's a whole different looking deal there. Yeah, I mean it runs the games that we've been playing really well. Like we ran like when we first started playing the Ascent, which we'll talk about here in a bit. I remember we both loaded into it and it had it set to Ultra back when I was on Shadow, and we like walked 2 steps and we are like, oh no, this is going down to like medium. Like no way. Like I'm running it now on Ultra with ray tracing on, and
wow,
like no problems. The only game that I've tried to play that like really made the thing run loud and like really cranked the fan up was Apex Legends. I cranked the settings on that thing, and I'd say that's a fairly demanding game.
Yeah,
probably not super demanding, but everything else it's ran really well. Now I am only doing 1080p right now, so I'm not doing 1440. But I'm hoping to. I'm thinking about getting at least one 1440p monitor.
Yeah, I have a curved 32 1440, and was playing Rage 2 on a 1080p monitor, and was just like, man, this looks really good. And then I got that monitor, or this new monitor that I'm like staring at you on, and was just like, oh my gosh, this game looks phenomenal on this, but my computer just can't handle it. So like I'll get a little taste of it from time to time, but I mean, a part of me I would like to have that Costco special, But
it's not bad.
I'm playing Final Fantasy 2 right now. Like,
right.
I don't need it. I'm playing old ass Yakuza games. I'm playing that. We are playing the Ascent. I'm running that on medium, like you said. That game has a whole host of other problems outside of just running like shit on my computer. So, but overall, you seem pretty happy with your decision.
Yeah, it's gonna last me a while. It'll definitely last me a while. And in talking to a friend of mine who's pretty into the PC parts market, he's like, listen, like you could have built your own, maybe saved a little bit of money, but if you'd have built your own, you would have got a nicer hard drive, probably a nicer like CPU cooler. Like you would have ended up spending more money for the same build.
Right.
But like that thing's gonna be okay. He's like, you may run into problems, like if you try to crack it open and you want to like expand it or put something else in it, you might run into different problems just because of the way it's configured. But like for what you need to do, that thing will be okay for a while.
It's a smaller box, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty small box.
Yeah. So
compared to some of the ones that I've seen, like
expansion bays are going to be pretty limited. I think your RTX card takes up 2 slots, right?
I haven't even looked inside of this thing.
Oh, okay. So I believe it just plugs into one, but on the back, it actually is like taking up the space of 2 bays. You may have like one more bay available.
It definitely, I can see the back of it. It is.
So I have your step below. I have a 2060, an RTX 2060 Super, I think is what mine is. And so I have a display, and not VGA, an HDMI, and then I think there's another row of something. So I could technically hook up like 3 or 4 monitors to it, but
Right.
it would have a hard time. It would have a hard time with that probably. My CPU is just old though, so that's really my main thing that I would like to upgrade. But upgrading that would require a whole new computer. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm into this whole new world now.
Yeah, you are.
So.
No more Series X's.
Nope.
Needed here, right?
I've installed Halo on this computer, which is a weird thing for me to say. And
are you playing keyboard and mouse?
No, that'll be. I was actually going to text you the other day and ask you, like, do I need to get like a nice keyboard?
Yeah, you should.
Because,
absolutely.
like, right now I have this like Logitech I don't know, it's like a business keyboard. It's not a mechanical keyboard or anything like that.
You should.
Yeah.
You don't need the fancy lights. I don't know if you're about that life or not, but I like my mechanical keyboard. Yeah. I have a Logitech, just normal mouse, wired. All my stuff is wired though. But
yeah, mine's wireless.
Yeah,
I like wireless.
I like it. Well, cool. What else you been up to? So you got a new computer?
Played. I think I played a couple episodes of Outer Worlds since the last podcast. I continue to like that game. There's just so much dialogue in that game. I think it was part 6. Part 6 is probably the most annoyed I'd been with it. If you want to watch that video, I essentially like went to a planet and was supposed to go talk to 4 people. Talked to all 4 of those people. They all sent me to like different areas, like in that little level, because those areas are kind of small comparatively. And then like each one of the people I needed to go talk to for each one of those people needed something. So it was just this. I had like 6 quest lines open, and like I kept like I'd complete a quest and then like go in and look at my quest log and like flip it and see like, okay, is there anything else while I'm here that I can like do? It just felt really like managey. Like I don't know, but it was interesting. Like the thing that I like the most about that game is the way like the outcomes of those quests are so varied, and there's so many different decisions you can make. So
right.
like when you sat in on my playthrough, we went to
oh my gosh,
we went to the groundbreaker and met that Erman, that like head guy, and he's like, "Hey, we want you to turn in Phineas Wells," and like right there, you can turn him in, the crazy scientist that busts you out.
Right.
And then I killed him.
You killed everybody.
I killed everybody in that room. So I don't know what effect that's going to have on anything. Like it hasn't. Yeah. We're going to find out. But like there's all these different ways that those quests can end up, which is pretty interesting. And I like where it's going. I like its style. It's got good style. The writing is hilarious. It's just some of it maybe goes on a little bit too far. Like they took it a little too far in some cases. There's just a lot of dialogue in there. And I'm liking the combat a lot more too. I'm finding some cooler weapons. I'm liking it.
What's that RTS style game that came out? It was like last year or the year before, and it's basically nothing but dialogue. But it like was winning awards and stuff. Like it was super popular a year or two ago, and it was all text. But they just re-released it, and they did complete voiceovers of that entire game.
Was it like the Wasteland looking one?
Yes. I gotta look up like game of the year, like 2020.
I think I know which one you're talking about. It's in there, but I cannot think of it.
My Bing search is letting me down. Look at this loading.
Yeah, you need to get a real search.
Well, anyway, as we wait for that to come, oh wow, that actually like crashed for a second. IGN Game of the Year 2020. What is happening? Oh my
It's
gosh. Let's switch to Google, I guess.
up.
What? Did you see something bad?
No, Satya Nadella is like holding his heart.
Oh, I know it. This is taking me nowhere. Anyway,
This is a
whatever
bad
that
idea.
game
It's
is.
a really obscure game, kind of a niche.
Yeah,
little
but
indie
it was
game.
winning a lot of awards, and,
Yeah.
and for the most part, people really liked it. And I kept thinking, I was like, maybe I should pick that up. It may have been on Game Pass or something at some point, but I was just like, ugh. But it's nothing but dialogue, and if the Ascent is telling me and you anything, it's we don't really give a shit. Like I think that there's probably a lot of the Outer Worlds I don't remember because I was just kind of like just ready to get through. I was just like this feels super bloated, and it already is a short game in the sense of like you think of a Bethesda style RPG, or let's give them credit, an Obsidian style RPG. You think of something that's going to be like 50, 60 hours long. And that's not the case for this game. You're probably more than halfway through it, I would imagine. But it just feels really bloated with just people that like feel like writing clever dialogue. There's parts that are really funny, but
yes, there is too much dialogue.
Yeah.
Some of it goes on a little bit too long, but it hasn't worn me thin yet. Yep, I'm moving my mouse more. Yeah, so I loaded up Halo. I played some matches of Halo on this thing. That looks super good. Halo 3.
Did we talk about Infinite on the last episode?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
When was the weekend that you played that?
Oh man, it was like the 29th through the 3rd.
No,
we didn't.
We recorded on the 28th.
Okay, yeah. So I got into.
Let's talk about Infinite.
Yeah, I got into the Infinite beta. Oh no, we recorded that episode on like a Saturday, didn't we? We talked.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You're right.
I've said this before.
Okay.
Yeah. That's over now. So if I get into any more flights, we'll talk about it more.
Okay.
Let's see. All I've got left is the Ascent. You ready to talk about that game?
Sure.
Okay. So we're 4 episodes into that playthrough, and I keep having people that I know tell me about how awesome the story is in this game. I had it happen yet again today, and I just look at them and go, I have no idea what's happening in that story.
No idea.
Partially because we have to keep skipping the cutscenes so the game will run, and
Yeah.
Also it just it's really hard to follow, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's a lot of I imagine it where like a super hardcore IT person is trying to talk to an end user about development stuff, and you're just like, Poon just said 5 acronyms of stuff, and I'm not quite following this. I don't know what's happening. He wants me to go to Balls Deep and, what's that other place we went to?
The Deep Stink.
The Deep Stink, which I shake my head out, but really I think that's a really good name for an area. It is pretty good. That game is fun, but
it's super fun.
It's fun. I'm enjoying the time that I get to play it. But we played episode 4. We are on, what are we on? 1.0.5, I think. We are playing this on Game Pass. So let me say this up front. We're hearing reports that the Steam version, the Xbox Series X version, whatever else you're playing that on, like, it runs good. For some reason, the Game Pass version it's having issues, and it shows. We've streamed the game 4 different times, and I think each episode, well, 1 through 3, we ended the episode on a bug, just like it's telling us to wrap the night up.
Yep.
And then episode 4, we what was the first crash? The first crash was we like let the guy out of the room, and then it was like you could see our reticle,
Yeah, like
and you could move your character around, but none of the level assets loaded. So it was
it's
just
like we were
dark.
in the level, but like we weren't supposed to be there. So like it wasn't loading them
Yeah.
for us to see them. Yeah.
So then we hard crash back out, and we load it again, and then the same thing happens. So then we're like getting nervous, like, oh man, is my save corrupted?
Right.
So then we figured out that if we just skip the cutscene, it's almost like it forces the assets somehow. So we play the game a little bit more. We fight this also gets kind of weird. We don't understand the leveling, and we don't understand like we fought 3 spiders and lost.
Yeah, so we got to a boss and we walked into the arena, and like there was 3 spiders there. And like immediately we died.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no like we probably weren't alive for like a minute.
No.
Like probably not even 30 seconds and we were dead.
No.
And then we'd load back in, try to go to the back to the boss, and there's only 1 spider. And then we died again. And then it kept changing levels. Like it went down a level and then went up 3 levels and then went it was kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I did not quite understand what was happening there, but we did end up like beating that boss. But then the problem was that the cutscene ran and then we hard crashed.
Yeah.
And it was just like, okay, so we load the game again. Thankfully, it saved our progress and we loaded straight into that cutscene. So we were just like, just skip it. So now we're scared to death to watch any cutscenes because we're just afraid that it's going to crash the game. So we're just like, let's just skip everything. Like, who cares?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's got a lot of problems at the moment.
Yeah.
People say the Steam version seems to be okay, but everything else seems to be the Windows Game Pass version seems to be.
I can't believe that.
Yeah. The Ascent is a good game. That I wish we understood the story more of, and that I wish wouldn't crash. It like all the people that I see talking about it are like gushing about it, and it's like I wish I was having that experience, and I'm just not having that experience.
So we wrapped up the Ascent. Anything else? Anything else going on?
No, outside of Suicide Squad, no.
Let's save that for the end.
Okay.
Because I think I think we will be spoiling that a little bit.
Okay, Michael.
Yeah. What's up?
Did you Final Fantasy?
I have. I beat that game.
Beat the Final Fantasy.
Yeah, the very first one, the only one that was supposed to exist. I finished it.
Yes, the final one.
I have completed Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster. I thought I was gonna beat it in 8 episodes, but I was not prepared for that final boss. I really did like coast through that entire game.
Who is the final boss in Final Fantasy?
His name is either Garland or Chaos.
Chaos?
Yeah. Dude, okay. It was 1987 when this game came out. So
should somebody who's never played Final Fantasy, any Final Fantasy, play Final Fantasy 1?
No.
Okay.
Don't start there. No, do not start there, please.
Because every time I watched you streaming it, you were doing the same thing.
Yeah. It's very grindy. All those games are grindy, man.
Yeah.
You got to like that part of it, though. So, you just like seeing those numbers go up, man. How many times have I said that? And I just love seeing the numbers keep going up and up and up. It's fun. That game's great. I finished it in exactly 10 hours. My save is 10.00.
Wow.
That shocked me.
That's impressive.
I know. It was like I planned that.
That's not as long as
something.
I would have thought that game would be.
The original game takes about, I think How Long to Beat said it could take about 15 to 20 hours. But auto battle is a thing in these games where it kind of speeds things up a little bit. You can kind of like set your characters to be like attack, heal, cast some magic, and then hit a button and it'll just sit and do that. So then you're kind of just like watching to make sure, you know, nobody's getting too hurt or something, or you're running out of magic or something. So the Pixel remasters, they have that, and I really like that about it. It's gonna make it to where I can get through those games a little easier. But no, the last boss was difficult. I fought him 3 times actually, which I coasted through that entire game. So then hitting a wall right at the end, it's just like, fuck, like come on. But very, very good game. And actually,
good. Props.
I do have a prop. Sorry for the audio listeners here, but no, I also follow Wario64, and not only does he post like video game deals, but he posts like gaming things,
nerd stuff. You're about to show me some nerd stuff, aren't you?
This is pretty big. It's a pretty big one, Rich. So I typically do not buy anything like this.
Oh, shut up.
I don't
even start.
Like on my desk, I do have a bobblehead Star-Lord. I didn't buy that. My wife bought it. And then I have this Mario ball that I play with. This is like my little fidget toy. Besides that, they're really, oh shit. Okay. And then I do have my coffee cup that holds my mints. But besides that, I don't have anything like besides a controller, you know, because I play games here. But I seen this book, and it's called FF Dot.
Oh boy.
And it is filled with like pixel art from the Final Fantasy games.
Oh my.
And it's super high quality. I don't know if this is like passing through really well.
Pretty good.
But this book is like 300. It's like a really good coffee table style book. And it has a pretty lengthy.
It's an art book.
It is, yeah. And it has a lengthy interview with Kazuko Shibuya, which is an artist at I think she probably currently works there, but she does pixel art. And you know, it was on sale for it was like 50% off. So this 300-page book that is like full color and hardback and really good quality was $12. Huge, real nice looking screenshots of the game, all the art assets. I mean, look at this. Like, it even shows like the backgrounds that you would use for like different battles and stuff. So I mean, it's neat, and it's like it's kind of cool that I have this. I'm
giving you crap acting like I haven't been Googling replica Witcher swords for the past 2 weeks. That's not a
You're
thing.
You're gonna play that game. You're gonna play that game. Dude. You got to, man. You know, it'd be really cool if there was some way that we could play that together. Like, I don't know. I know it's not built for that, but
we could parsec it.
Yeah, we could.
That way, yeah.
So yes, I've played a lot of Final Fantasy, so much of it that I finished it. Tomorrow morning, so we're recording this Wednesday night. Thursday morning, I'll be starting Final Fantasy 2. Then I will be playing, still continue to play Yakuza on the weekends. I'm having a rough time with that game.
Yakuza 3?
Yes, so I'm playing Yakuza 3 Remastered. I'm playing that on the weekends. When I'm done with the Final Fantasy, the first 3, I will start playing Yakuza because I do want to get through that series. Not because I'm not liking it, because I wouldn't play it if I didn't like it, but this is like a rough entry in the series, and I'm trying to get through. It was the first entry in the PS3. They were trying to figure out that thing. You could talk to any dev that developed anything with the PS3, and they're going to tell you they had a hard time with it. So this shows. I mean, they remastered. I'm not going to call it a turd, because it's not a turd. Like, I think it still has some redeeming qualities to it. But going from the Kiwami series to this, like, you can tell that there was a definite drop in quality
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
We've covered all this. So, yeah, I will be playing that again on the weekend. What else have I been playing? Maybe another hour of Mass Effect. Really, I have not been touching that. I've just been so busy with the other things. So that's it with gaming. So for reading, I finally did pick up another comic. We talked about this on the stream a little bit last night, so I'll just touch base here. I read the Slaughterhouse-5 comic. That's that is a book written by Kurt Vonnegut, and then they remade it into a comic. It's pretty faithful adaptation of it. Really good comic. If you like the book, you should read the comic. If you've never read Kurt Vonnegut, I would tell you to read the book first. I think you would appreciate the comic more after that. Yeah, he's a great writer. Very unique style to him.
Yeah, I need to find a good comic to read. I haven't read any in a while. I think that Dune comic was the last one that I read. No, I read some Witcher comics.
I almost pulled the trigger on that Mass Effect comic that had the whole compendium of it on sale, and I was just like, I would kind of like to have that, but reviews of that are a little middling, so I don't know. I could make up my mind. Well, I made up my mind. I didn't buy it, but I'm still reading Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. I would love to finish that like the next month or so, but goodness gracious, we'll see. And he already has another freaking book out. So not only do I have that and Rhythm of War, but I have the Cytonic, I think is what it's called, which is Skyward, I think was the first book. I could be wrong, but it's a science fiction style book, which is a little different than what he's used to writing because he does a lot of fantasy style stuff. A lot more West Wing. That's it with reading. And my Final Fantasy book. I need to read the interview in the back of that. West Wing, still going through season 4. Loving that show. I finished Castlevania season 2. Now, Rich, I am showing more and more interest in like anime. There's some good shit out there.
No.
And Castlevania is definitely one of these. This is.
I mean, is that considered like fringe anime? Like, is it true anime? Like,
I think
do
it's
the people that really like anime consider that anime?
It's
you know
probably
a
here? Thing where it's like, this wine didn't actually come from France, so it's not technically wine. This was made in your basement in Indiana, so you can't really classify. It's the same thing. Like this was not made in Japan. I don't think anyway. Maybe it was. But yeah, it's like a Western style anime.
Yeah,
but it's great, man. And really, outside of using the likeness of like Trevor and Dracula and Alucard, there really wasn't much tie-in to the video game. And really, like even going through the second season, there's a couple more characters that have been in the Castlevania games, but for the most part, it really doesn't have much tie-in to the video game, except there's the classic like Castlevania song. I don't know the name of it. It's like something tears, but it's like do 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 do, and the cartoon actually used it in a really good battle, like a fight scene, and it was just like super epic. I mean, I'm walking on my treadmill just like, fuck yes, this is awesome.
Yeah.
It was so good. Like I even tweeted about it. I was like, man, this show is like, it's on fire. And some shit happens in season 2 that was like, if I didn't know that there were other seasons, I would have been like, oh, okay, I think they like kind of wrapped this up. But no, it's still going, and what they're setting up is like bonkers. Like this show is going places. It's done well enough that they did 4 seasons, which, you know, Netflix typically severs things at 3. They did 4 seasons of this, and they've already announced a spinoff of it. Like there's going to be another like tale set in this universe. Right. So that's pretty cool. I'm excited. I really want to get through that. But I really want to get through it, and I'm probably going to pick up another anime. I have a couple on my list that I want to watch that I hear are like, you know, if you like what's the top whatever insert number animes. Like I want to check out like the number one. And it's always the same one. There's always like, if you look at any top 10 list, there's always at least the same 7 in all of those.
Yeah.
Can you name any of those?
Dragon Ball, Yu-Gi-Oh.
No. We're not even talking about that. No. Like go beyond that. This is not your Super Mario, and this is not your Sonic the Hedgehog.
What's the one with that Scarlett Johansson did the movie on?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember.
I can't remember it either.
So like Attack on Titan.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that is always like somebody's number 1 through 10. They're like that. That is like an absolute watch. Or I've heard of one called Hunter x Hunter.
Akira is Akira one.
Yeah, that's I mean I might be misspeaking here, but I think that might be a movie. Maybe there is a show of that, but
Ghost in the Shell. Is that that's the one I'm thinking of. Okay.
And there's a shit ton, Rich. There is an absolute shit ton of those.
Pokemon.
Yeah, that's a great one. I watched that in Dragon Ball Z, but no, there's a lot. There's One Punch Man. I watched.
Okay, yeah.
You've
heard
heard
about
of
Avatar?
Yeah, that's one.
I liked that. I watched a decent amount.
I haven't watched any of that. But there's enough out there that it's just like, okay, I want to see the good ones. Like, show me the good ones, and hopefully it's not Clone Wars style where I'm setting myself up to watch like 180 episodes of something.
Oh, you totally are.
Well, I'll weed through those, but Trigun Vash. Trigun is one.
Yeah.
I had a buddy that was really into Trigun. Okay, so that's enough of TV and reading. We covered gaming. Yeah, finally got another comic in there. I don't know what other comic I'm going to read next. I'm still figuring that out.
Yeah.
So I watched I watched Spirited Away.
What's that?
So it's the same it's the Studio Ghibli movie, and all of these are on HBO Max right now. And I'm like, my kids love My Neighbor Totoro. And that's a great movie. I adore that movie. And it's one of those things where it's like, if you like Studio Ghibli and you like this, you need to check out Princess Mononoke, or however you say that, and Spirited Away. And there's they've done like more than a dozen movies. Yeah. And so Spirited Away is like, it just hit its like 20th anniversary. So it was like a pretty big deal. And I was just like, we need to watch this movie. And man, it did not land in the house at all.
No.
Ooh, it was
really?
not, we did not care for it. And this is like, this would be a controversial statement. People that like these movies are like, no, this is a legit good movie. And it had its moments that I enjoyed, but no. I have no desire to see that movie again. I'm glad I watched it. But
yeah,
no, I don't. I do not want to see that movie again. I'm good. But it is not. Those are the only 2 movies that I've seen from that studio. So I'm 1 for 1 on my likes, but I do want to continue. I want to see all of the other ones, and see kind of where we're at. But I did watch another movie this week. I watched Suicide Squad.
The Suicide
Squad, right.
Yeah.
I did not finish Suicide Squad. I actually fell asleep during Suicide Squad.
2016's Suicide Squad.
Yeah, David Ayer?
He sounds right. Yeah. Will Smith.
Yeah, that Suicide Squad. So I did watch this Suicide Squad. So
you were pumped for this.
I was super jazzed for this movie, okay? So let's go ahead and throw the spoiler warning out there that we're going to discuss this movie. I want to just kind of tear into this a little bit. So if you're bailing, thank you all for watching. There'll be links in the show notes to all of our stuff. Bon voyage. If you're sticking around, great. I did not like this movie.
Really?
No, I didn't like it.
Man, that's a shocker. Watching the movie, because I watched it too.
Okay.
I thought he's gonna love this fucking.
No.
I totally thought you were gonna love it.
No. It didn't need to exist. It did nothing new. It didn't push the genre forward at all. Like, I really like James Gunn. I thought Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was great. Loved it at the time. I think I still enjoy it. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, not so much. Most people actually say it's a better movie. I don't agree with that.
It's a good movie.
It's good. Just Suicide Squad, though, like, it suffered again from trying to be serious, but we're gonna try to shove humor in there a little bit, and it was just like, it's just not landing with me. Like we talked a little bit about the character King Shark, and he was just dumb. He was just dumb, and no redeeming quality to him at all. King Shark in the Harley Quinn show, fantastic. He's a great character. He actually has like some depth to him, and I like that whole ragtag group is so much more interesting than what they've kind of assembled here. I mean, what was it? There was Polka Dot Man, there was King Shark, Ratcatcher
2,
Ratcatcher 2, yeah. And then there was the John Cena character. I don't remember his name.
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. Yeah, duh. It's going to be a TV show because of the spoilers. He survives in the very end. Yeah. And then Idris Elba,
after being shot through the throat.
Yeah, it grazed it. Rich, it just grazed his throat a little bit.
The most accurate person in the world just grazed it.
Yeah. So of course they show the thing where the bullet goes through the bullet or whatever. Yeah. But out of the 5 characters you're playing with, or 6 or however many we just counted, 2 of them are the same fucking thing. Essentially, they just kind of try to one up each other, and the humor really was just kind of lazy. Like, it was nothing. I've seen all of this stuff before, and I don't know. It just didn't catch me. I don't know. I really wasn't the biggest fan of it. What is this franchise doing? Like.
It was exactly what I expected it to be.
Man, I just had higher hopes, I guess.
So I didn't really. I mean, I don't have the comic knowledge or like these other shows that you've watched with these characters knowledge. I watched the 2016 Justice League, and I mean, that's a bad movie.
Very bad movie.
But I actually liked like the antagonist in that movie, like the crazy witch.
Hold on, what movie?
Wasn't that Suicide Squad?
Oh, I'm telling you, I fell asleep during that movie. I don't remember who the villain was.
Yeah, it was like a witch.
I thought it was like a tentacle monster type thing, because I remember seeing the subway scene.
Yeah, it might have been at the. Maybe I'm confusing movies. I'll have to go back and look. But this movie was exactly what I thought it was going to be. When I saw it was James Gunn, I was like, okay, like, it's going to have some of that humor in it. But I think Guardians of the Galaxy works because of Chris Pratt. Like, Chris Pratt, like, you're in that movie, you're asking Chris Pratt to just do Chris Pratt things. Like, you're in like Deadpool, you're just hey, Ryan Reynolds, just go be Ryan Reynolds for 2 hours. Yeah. Right? Like, and like this movie, I feel like didn't really have anybody to really carry it.
That star power.
I think Margot Robbie she's a really good Harley Quinn. I like her as Harley Quinn. I think she sells that character pretty well. But everybody else, and just like the outfits, like it all just reads like really like low rent, like, and I know it's supposed to be that.
Right.
But like, does it have to go that far, that direction? You know, like, I don't know. Like, from the very beginning of the movie, I was actually a little bit confused because I thought this was going to be a whole different movie. And at the very beginning, they show Viola Davis walking in. I'm like, wait, she was in the other movie.
Yeah.
playing that character, and I had to stop the movie and go Google, like, is this a sequel? Or is this a whole retcon? Like, what is the thing here? And it's like, no, it's kind of a sequel. But that really wasn't super clear.
Right.
And so the beginning of that movie, they introduce like the same kind of characters from the first movie, and then like kill them all. And I'm like, what in like a very grotesque way. Like Nathan Fillion's in that movie for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Who's the SNL kid?
Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson's in it for like 5 minutes. Like it starts with Michael Rooker, and I'm like, oh, okay, he's in Guardians of the Galaxy. So
Right. Yeah.
like they just called him up and had him come in, and he's just like badass until he gets out there and then he runs away like a little baby, which I thought was a really weird thing. I thought that whole opening scene was really stupid.
The weasel.
The weasel, yeah, and like Flag, like he's just like super serious, like military guy, and then that whole beginning was stupid,
Right.
and I felt like it was doing that because it wanted you to have like emotional connections to the other crew that was basically the star of the movie, and it wanted to sort of establish like, hey, we'll kill any of these fucking people
Yeah.
at any time, right?
Right.
But what they forgot to do was make me care about any of those people. The only person that I actually, other than, I mean, Harley, but like they're not going to kill Harley.
No.
She's like, she's not even like a person. She's like a being. Like you're not going to kill her. Was Ratcatcher 2. I thought like her little story was kind of interesting, and I thought her character there was some depth there. But like the whole Idris Elba character, like Bloodshot, is that the same character that Will Smith was that played? Is it the
No, he played
what-
Deadshot.
Deadshot? Okay, see, I don't know these guys well enough. That's first of all, that's stupid. How many snipers does this fucking universe need?
Yeah.
Jesus Lord. And so Idris Elba is like cleaning the fucking floor, and you know they bring him in. He's like, "Fuck you, I don't care about anything." And then they bring in his daughter, and he's like, "I really don't care about you." And then Viola Davis is like, "Oh well, I'm gonna send her off to prison," and all of a sudden he cares now.
Yeah,
like that whole thing was really stupid.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I don't know. John Cena cannot. He just needs to stop. I thought he was really bad in that movie. I did like that they had Sylvester Stallone voice King Shark.
Yeah.
That was a good job in casting him for that.
Yeah.
And that was the only time that I laughed during the whole movie.
It just didn't really give him much to work with. It's just like
No.
I don't know.
The whole thing, I think you're right, just seemed really lazy. Like the whole at the very beginning, like the whole helicopter scene, they're gonna do like how many movies have done that?
Deadpool.
Like, oh, we're getting in the helicopter, we're getting ready to go,
Yeah.
and we're all gonna make jokes about people. And I actually took notes during this movie.
Oh yes.
Because I knew I was gonna forget.
Yep.
Let's see here. Oh, there's like a millennials joke. Like John Cena makes a millennials joke, which I thought was actually really hilarious. Oh, when they try to wake up Ratcatcher 2 in prison, and like she won't wake up. And I'm
That's
like,
right.
oh my god! Like really, we're gonna make a millennials joke? Okay. And then the like whole polka dot man like mom thing.
Right.
Like I was, jeez.
Yeah, just like he already sees everything as his mom. So then they remind him
Yeah.
that like, hey, Starfish is your mom. Like he didn't already know that, but then he gets the courage to go throw fucking
And the whole Starfish thing, and like Peter Capaldi's character, all that was really lazy.
yeah.
Like the whole like fictional island with like this deadly apocalyptic starfish.
Right.
Like, and I always have like this problem with these movies, where it's like, if this thing is such a problem, where's Batman? Like,
yeah.
where's I don't know where this is in the timeline, but where's Superman?
Where's the fuck is Superman?
Like,
Superman just
where's-
looks at that starfish and kills it.
Where's the Justice League? Like, why are they sending these fucking people in there?
Yeah.
And I think what they were trying to get across is like all these people are incompetent. Like this section of the government is incompetent because like all those people are like betting on who's going to die first, and they're
Right.
just sitting in their chairs like IT support. Like,
Yep.
You know, like they're all incompetent. Like this really isn't this big of a problem.
Right.
The starfish thing was really weird though. I don't know. I thought it was a really bad movie.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to watch that movie again.
No.
I would watch like a Ratcatcher spinoff like that, like an origin story with her. Like, could be
Well, you're
interesting.
getting a Peacemaker.
Yeah, I don't want to watch anything with John Cena on it anytime soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not a fan. Man, Idris Elba, that guy cannot win.
No.
Freaking what's the Stephen King book? Gunslinger. He was the gunslinger in that terrible
With McConaughey?
Dark Tower movie. Yeah. Yeah.
Did they get picked up for like an actual like series, or was it were they basing it?
I mean, I think that if it wouldn't have been terrible, they probably would have made more of those. But yeah, and he was like in line to play James Bond. Like, I don't think quite got to play James, or is maybe not going to get to play James Bond.
I like him though.
And now, I do too. He's got some crap luck.
Yeah. Oh man. Trying to think, is there anything? Oh, so I am looking forward to The Batman. I think that movie looks excuse me. I think that movie looks good.
I don't disagree, but every story I read about that movie is how completely screwed the production of that movie is.
Oh, because of
between like Robert Pattinson and like the director and like all this stuff. Like, what is that movie even going to be? I don't know. I hope it's good because I love Batman.
Yeah, I do too.
But I think he could be a cool, interesting Batman.
Yeah,
like, I think there's room to do like a Keaton style Batman.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. So what's next in the superhero movie schedule for this year? Is Spider-Man next? Is Spider-Man this year?
No. You've got several movies before then.
Really? I thought the new Spider-Man movie was this year.
Dude, you got a new movie coming out next month.
Really?
Yeah, Shang-Chi is coming out next month.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And then I believe The Eternals is before Spider-Man. Spider-Man is like a Christmas movie. It's like
okay. And the Eternals is the Neil Gaiman, right?
Well, yes. He wrote a version of the Eternals, but there has been Eternals before then. But I think if you were to Google the Eternals, you would see the Neil Gaiman. But there are, other authors that have written about the Eternals.
Okay.
The Eternals have been like teased already in the cinematic universe. But, there's just a lot of conspiracies on like who are they going to be fighting? What's it going to be setting up? They have a pretty rock solid cast for that. Couple Game of Thrones people. Angelina Jolie is in that. Like there's a lot of big actors in that movie. And then I think you have Spider-Man towards the tail end of the year. I like that there's so much mystery around that movie. Because it's just like, are they really bringing in the other Spider-Man, or like what's going on?
That'll be really weird.
Like they tease it a little bit because J. Jonah Jameson, or however you say his name, is the same actor from those movies. So it's just like, is this just
like, is that gonna hit? Like, is that gonna hit with younger people?
No, not at all. They won't understand.
I mean, those Spider-Man, like those Tobey Maguire movies, seem like they were yesterday. But I'm guessing if I looked up when the first one of those came out, I'd be very, very disappointed.
Oh man, I think I was
very sad.
I think I was
like
maybe,
it'd have to be mid 2000s.
I'm
gonna guess 2004 or 5.
So here's my Bing search being super slow.
Yep. You're making money.
2002.
Oh my god.
So we're pushing 20 years.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, how is that gonna hit?
Hold on. I got to read this.
People have the internet, so.
This story tells the origin story of Peter Parker, or Spider-Man, portrayed by Tobey Maguire, whom, after being hit by a radioactive spider, he has gained extraordinary powers to climb walls, shoot web, and beat bad guys. I like that.
That's pretty good.
It's a great explanation. Yeah, so we've got a lot coming out this year. The What If series started. I think I might end up watching that just to see like what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have any interest in it, but it's just kind of like my son would really like that, and I'll watch it with him. But
yeah,
I think the first episode's all about Agent Carter. What if she was Captain America? Like what if Captain America died in some form or fashion, and she ended up jumping into the container that made Captain America? So I think that's what that's about. Is there anything else you want to talk about with Suicide Squad? Like, I mean,
I don't think so.
Like anything else stuck out to you?
No, I just didn't think it was very good. I mean, a lot of the reviews that I read, obviously people love that freaking movie.
Really? What? It's reviewing high?
No, yeah. It's like it's over 90% on Rotten Tomatoes.
What?
Yeah.
Are we wrong?
No, James Gunn made it.
Yeah. And I mean, if he's making Guardians 3, I'm excited. I want to see what he does, but I just think what he was handed to work with here was just not the material is just kind of whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah,
they went for like a rated R. It didn't really need to be. Their freaking villain was a starfish, and it did nothing. Like,
I'm sure that's got to be from the comics. That's too weird not to be.
Oh yeah, that was not. No, that has to be.
Yeah.
But all right, what's my F key here to switch us over?
Oh boy,
is it this one? Nope. Hold on, is it F6?
Yes. Congratulations.
Yeah, here we go. It's F4.
There we go.
I will get that fixed at some point. Thank you all so much for watching and listening to this. If you want to follow us, you can send us an email at emails@bitpunch.tech. You can follow us on Twitter at BitPunch. We stream daily, sometimes multiple times a day, on Twitch at twitch.tv/BitPunch. You can check out our website to get our podcast and all of our links to everything at bitpunch.tech. All of our archives get uploaded to YouTube at user/BitPunch. And then we have a newsletter that gets sent at the end of the month. You can check that out at bitpunch.substack.com. But all of these links and more will be in the show notes of this episode. So, Rich.
Yep.
I need to hit the button, but I don't know which one it is. So I'm just gonna click it because I don't know.
To label them.
I don't know which one it is. I clicked the button though.
This is so easy. It's Shift P for podcast, Shift G for game, Shift S for starting soon.
But I've got that win screen.
Follow us.
I got that win screen. Like look at this. I've got this win screen here. That's just like, okay, look at the guys. Oh, I got to switch this because I'm done with I'm done with this game. All right. Thank you all so much for listening. Thank you, Rich.
Thank you.
And we will be back in a few weeks. See ya.
Bye.